Welcome back to Terrible at Fishing. Well, this is a morning. It happens to be 4th of July, and I want to go for a bike ride. Just to ride around town, see what's going on. So that was Mark you saw a second ago with his dog Rex, awesome German Shepherd. So, it was me leaving, and my timing couldn't have been, I don't know, better, worse, I don't know. You're going to see in a moment. But as I go down the street, I run into something. And let me tell you a story about, I moved away from home when I was 18 years old, moved over to Hayward, California. It's in the Bay Area. And 2 weeks there, somebody says, Mike, you ever see a big city parade? I said, no, I'm seeing the Macy's parade on TV and stuff, and the Rose Parade and stuff like that. So they take me to San Francisco to see a big city parade. And I'm a small town boy. I ain't never seen anything like that before in my life. And I want you to understand, back then, this is 1982, there was shock value going from a small town to seeing the Freedom Day Gay Parade. And it was a lot for me to take in. Fortunately, I kind of looked older than I was. They didn't care about selling liquor to minors back then. And divulged. So today I'm going down the street here. This is 2nd Street. Going down very steep street. And I run into our Klamath Falls 4th of July parade. Now, this is kind of what, being from a small town. Lompoc. And Lompoc has cool parades. They have something called a flower festival. And that's because when I was growing up, 2/3 of the world's flower seeds came from our little town. I know, a lot of flowers. So this is Klamath Falls version of a parade. Basically, anybody with a vehicle that wants to put a streamer on it or a sign on it, you just get in line. That's about as, it's a little bit of a redneck parade. So I'm, this is kind of what you expect. Kids on bikes, pickup trucks with flags. Pretty much. This is what it was. And, it was really neat. Now, in the upper left corner of the screen, you basically, I left the area and I'm just riding around town now. That's Veterans Park in the upper left. Basically, the parade ends there, and at 4 o'clock, this park becomes a car show, vendors, stuff like that. The neat thing about living in a small town, again, is that it feels small. I don't know about y'all, but that parade feels small. There's a guy with an electric trike from Electric, and we were talking briefly, and the guy that I'm talking to with these motorized bikes in his van. Yes, you could buy things out of the back of a van. It's just this is small town. Okay, if you got a cool looking car, get in line. Look at that. You got a dune buggy. It's really very funny. And of course, you got the fire department. They make the most noise. I muted these because it is just people honking, aruga, aruga. Just crazy. It's really loud. Yep, and you got moving vans. This is a way to advertise your small business, is in a parade. Just, get in line and show people that you exist. Upper left, they're going to be setting up the fireworks on flotillas out onto the lake. We have a big lake right there called Yawana. It's at the Veterans Park. And there's a car that just is too old to run. But this is, it's just This is Klamath Falls, and I thought you guys might want to see it. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.